to today's webinar, Tackling Barriers to Solar Irrigation in Sub-Saharan Africa, Regional Insights from Entrepreneurs. My name is Sophia Schneider. I'm a researcher at the Wuppertal Institute for Climate, Environment and Energy, located in Germany, and I have the pleasure to moderate this webinar. The speakers are entrepreneurs who are part of the SESA incubator program. SESA is a collaborative project between the European Union and 9 African countries that aims at providing energy access technologies and business models which are easily replicable and generate local opportunities for economic development within Africa. By this webinar, we want to facilitate a peer-to-peer exchange, during which the entrepreneurs discuss specific challenges in their solar irrigation operations and how they deal with them. And of course, we want to interact with you as participants to learn from each other. So for this, we would like to ask you to use the question function and send us your questions via the chat at any time. We will then pick them up later during the Q&A session, where we have the time to discuss them. Please also make sure to indicate to whom of the speakers the question is addressed. Great, thanks. And now let me start by giving you a brief introduction to the topic, as well as introducing our great panelists. So since 2015, food insecurity in Sub-Saharan Africa has worsened. It has been exacerbated by several global crises and challenges. Climate change is one of them. It contributes to water stress, reduced growing seasons, and more frequent extreme weather events like droughts, floods, and pest infestations, all of which severely impact agricultural productivity. Agriculture is the backbone of livelihoods and food security in Sub-Saharan Africa, where smallholder farmers produce 80% of the region's food. At the same time, 90% of cropland is rain-fed, so it depends on unpredictable rainfall patterns. This indicates that there is high potential for solar-powered irrigation technologies, and these technologies are increasingly recognized as a solution to address water access challenges. However, solar irrigation companies across Africa face diverse and country-specific challenges, such as difficulties in market penetration, low awareness and acceptance among farmers, and financial sustainability given the seasonality of their business models. As already mentioned, these regional challenges will be discussed by the speakers, as well as innovative solutions to address them. By this, let me now come to the panel and introduce the speakers. So first we have Janice Kaisi. She, as a country manager for Simusolar Tanzania, leads transformative efforts to enhance the livelihoods of farmers through cutting-edge solar irrigation solutions. Her passion lies in empowering farmers with sustainable and reliable irrigation solutions, contributing to increased agricultural output, enhanced food security, and improved rural livelihoods. The second speaker is Mr. Hafeni Mungungu, who is the Engineering Operations Director at Dritoven Engineering. Hafeni has a proven track record across mechanical, renewable energy, solar irrigation, and industrial engineering sectors. His innovative approach and dedication have significantly contributed to advancing sustainable engineering solutions in Namibia. This is where Dritoven is operating and beyond. Lastly, I am happy to introduce Mwangairo, who is the Managing Director at Smart Energy Enterprise, a commercial enterprise that promotes solar-powered irrigation systems among smallholder farmers in Malawi. Gift's passion for innovation and sustainable development continues to drive the company's mission, which is to profitably promote clean energy systems in Malawi to mitigate low incomes for food security and climate change related effects. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the presentations now and to discussing with you later, and will now hand over. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Janice Kaisi, the country manager for Simusolar Tanzania, and I'm happy to be here today to discuss the challenges that farmers face in accessing water for irrigation and how we at Simusolar are working towards addressing these challenges. Now, we all know that agriculture is the backbone of Africa's economy. When we zero down to East Africa, 65% of the population rely purely on farming for their livelihood, yet only 5% have access to irrigation. The rest wait on rain. Now, the question to pose ourselves is, what will happen when the rains stop? In addressing the challenge of water accessibility for irrigation by smallholder farmers, we at Simusolar look at three key elements which also form our business model. One of them being financing the smallholder farmers who would otherwise not have access to financing through banks due to lack of collateral. And secondly, automating our system designs, as we believe every client have different requirements for water. So we customize our designs. And lastly, we work closely with capacity builders and cooperatives who already have established relationship with these farmers. And as a result, we're able to create awareness and the benefits that our systems come with. However, providing the solution is one thing, and having these smallholder farmers onboarded into the new technologies is another. We have a couple of challenges that contribute to the long closing times, and today I'd like to deep dive into two main challenges and how Simusolar is addressing them. Now, designing an irrigation system is very complex, and it's such an expensive engineering and requires tailored solutions for each farm. And due to this, we have seen farmers who waste money by buying a system that is either too big or too small for their farm, and forces them to go back to the manual irrigation methods. Now, how Simusolar is working to address this challenge is by first and foremost understanding that every farm is different when it comes to the source of water, the size of the farm, as well as the type of crops that is being grown there. And the consequences of providing a wrong system could be extremely costly. Having all this in mind, we decided to come up with an application that is easily accessible by our sales officers while they're at the field. They can access the application in their phones, and they can custom design a system that is according to the farmer's requirement. Another challenge that we see most farmers are facing here in Tanzania, and even in Africa as a whole, is the financial capability to buy the irrigation system. And it makes it even worse when these farmers are not able to access financing from the banks due to lack of collateral. What Simusolar does is making these farmers bankable by taking the assets and turning them into collateral. Then we are able to remotely control the pumps because we install them with the pay-as-you-go technology, which can remotely track the monthly installments that the clients are making. And from the map, we see that the purple dots, these are all the clients across the region that we are currently financing. So we do make the pump affordable by financing them, but also to customize it, because if the system is not right from the word go, then it means the client will not get the productivity that they're looking for, and then in return they'll not be able to have enough income generated and be able to pay the monthly installments. Now, let me walk you through one user example. This is an example of one of our many clients who has been able to first increase their income, save time every day in labor, and expand their farm size. And it all started with us visiting their farm. We got to understand the source of water they're using, the type of crop they're growing, as well as the farm size. Then we went ahead and did an on-site design and pricing, and provided them with flexible payment options in a span of 2 years. Then went ahead and installed the pump system with after-sale service in those 2 years, since we offer our clients a 2 years warranty. So in these 2 years, in case there's any need for repair or any challenge that the system will go through, then our field service technician is able to attend to the pump. And we're able also to do that because we have offices around the regions in Tanzania. And this type of service, no other company is doing that. It's very unique with Simusolar. And for us, it is key for our farmers to succeed when they make this type of investment, because we know that once they succeed, then they are able to do the monthly installment, and they're able to finish their payment plan and own the pump. So it's key that this works for both for us and the customer. Allow me to wrap up by going through the key lessons learned from the SESA replication program. It is through this replication program that we've been able to scale our lease to own options and make the pumps more affordable to smallholder farmers. Back in 2022, only 91 clients were financed by Simusolar, and this number increased to 124 clients with the launch of SESA in 2023. And as we speak, last year, 2024, we had 139 clients financed. Secondly, we've been able to streamline our operations and deliver a cost-effective and reliable solution through the automation of our pump design. And lastly, by leveraging the farmer networks, we've been able to reach many farmers and make them aware of our service. And this leads us to focus mainly on the key differentiators and value creators like financing, design, delivery, and service. Again, thank you very much for joining us today and staying invested throughout this presentation. Now I'm calling upon each and every one of us. Let's join hands and work together to empower more farmers to have access to the solar-powered irrigation systems. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Hafeni Mungungu, and I'm the Engineering Operational Director at Dritoven Engineering. I'm here to present to you solar irrigation in a country severely affected by the drought. Let's get into it. Namibia is a very dry country whereby a large portion of our land is desert. So let me start off with an introduction for our company, basic information on our company and business model. Dritoven Engineering is a Namibian EPC, which is engineering, procurement, and construction. We are a well-established engineering firm specializing in renewable energy solutions, irrigation systems, and rectification. We are active in solar-powered irrigation for small-scale farmers, and we have years of experience in implementing sustainable irrigation solutions across Namibia. We focus on sustainable agriculture and energy access, especially off-grid energy access, which is renewable energy. Um, let's get into our business model. We practice a business model of the lease to own, and the pay after harvest model, mainly targeting the small scale farmers and medium farmers. In the integration of solar energy for cost effectiveness and sustainable irrigations. So we do a lot of projects on renewable energy, that also including converting existing AC systems to solar energy with a solar inverter product that we are selling into and installing into the market. Training and capacity building for farmers on irrigation best practice. Uh, Partnership driven approach with local and international stakeholders. Country specific challenges. The most specific challenges for Namibia. Number one, severe drought. Namibia is a very dry country. Namibia is one of the driest countries in Sub-Saharan Africa, whereby a large portion of our land is desert. That makes our country very, very dry, and we have been severely affected by drought. For the past 6 years, we have experienced the worst drought over 90 years. So it's been very, very much extreme. Uh, the other challenge is extreme distance. Namibia is a very large country. The size of Namibia is over 800 square kilometers, and that's 800,000 square kilometers. And the population density for Namibia is 4 people per square kilometers. That means that remote farming communities with limited infrastructures, and for you to travel from one of those from one community to another, or from nearest town or city to those remote areas, you could cover as far as close to 3,000 to 2,000 kilometers just in one go, and that cause a lot of limited on infrastructures for those communities. The other challenge is limited surface water. Namibia is already a dry country, whereby a large portion of our land is covered in desert. And for people to have access to water, they have to rely on borehole and underground waters. Some communities, people have dug well and drill boreholes. We offer the drilling services and water mapping, but these solutions are very, very expensive, especially for small scale farmers and medium farmers. And then the other challenge is the high investment cost. Solar irrigation is a very capital intensive solution, and it's just very, very expensive for the small scale farmers to be able to afford these solutions. Um, Consumer financial challenge. The main issue here, many farmers lack upfront capitals for solar irrigation systems. They do not have the affordability capacity, which is a very, very huge challenge. And the solution here is something that we have been implementing, like the wish to own model, to reduce the initial cost burden. But the issue with this business model is it comes with its own challenge, especially for our corporate. So we find an issue where farmers will be having issues of affordability. They don't have the capital, and during that time when they are doing production, they don't have any income to be able to pay or pay a portion of installment on their need to own models according to that specific contract that we signed with. The other one solution is pay after harvest agreement to align the payment with the income cycle of the farmer. But this one also, the corporate, is a good one because the corporate is more involved, it's more engaging with the farmers, but it also comes with its own risks, but it's a good solution. Then the other solution is partnership with microfinancing institutions to facilitate access to credit. Most of the small scale farmers are unable to know the existence microfinance institutions on how to approach. So engaging with microfinancing institutions to be able to get farmers to have access to these small agricultural loans and to be able to use maybe their land or their livestock as collateral and be able to get a portion of the loan, get these their irrigation systems and be able to practice farming and get passive income. And then involve the government, sorry about the light, involve the government and non-profitable organization to subsidize and support affordability of these small scale farmers. Key lesson learned from SESA replication. Um, Adaptability was crucial for us to be able to adapt to the business model and must be trained to local conditions and financial reality of these farmers. So we were able to learn a lot and be able to adapt to different farmers, conditions, different applications of these small scale farmers. Their financial reality, be able to offer them solutions that is within their affordability bracket. So it was very, very crucial for us. And then there's community engagement methods. Farmers need training and ongoing support for system adaptability. This is also to improve on soft life of these systems and for the farmers to be able to take care of these systems. And it's very important, especially even if they pay them off completely, we still have to offer them support to ensure that the soft life of the equipment lasts longer. Financing is key to scaling up. A sustainable financing solution determine the long-term terms of projects success. That is one of the most important things that we have learned during the education of the SESA, and that was very, very good learning for us. And we are very grateful that we have gotten such an opportunity. Uh, in conclusion and call to action, Dritoven Engineering is committed to expand solar irrigation for food securities. Most of our farmers are seasonal dependent. Most of our farmers are subsistence farmers, and it depends on the rain. And if it did not rain, which didn't rain in the past 5 years, so unable to do any productions to produce food to feed their family and have access to sell to local markets. So they are dragged into poverty, and it was very, very bad. So this is a very, very good opportunity to be able to offer support and help them to have food security, as currently now they are just dependent on government feeding programs and food banks. Looking for collaboration and innovative financial mechanisms to scale up impacts. It's very important to have more collaboration, to have innovative financial support that can be able to impact and support these farmers and have a very, very good impact on their farming and their lifestyles. Invitation to discuss further opportunities for replications and partnerships. And we are very much grateful and we are happy that we were considered for this opportunity to have a discussions on future replications and partnership that can be able to offer financial support for our farmers to benefit from such and be able to have access to these equipments, to productions, and do away with their traditional ways of farming and be adapting to modern farming practice so that they can survive droughts and severe droughts and be able to produce. I thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Gift Mwangairo. I'm the founder and managing director of Smart Energy Enterprise. Today, I am going to present to you on diversification of revenue streams to ensure financial sustainability in a low-income smallholder farmer market. So now, I'm going to take you through the business model and also some of the solar pump irrigation systems which we are promoting. Basically, Smart Energy Enterprise is using a lease-to-own business model. in order to promote the solar power irrigation systems amongst the smallholder farmers. So this is actually done to enhance accessibility of the irrigation technologies amongst the farmers, because we understand that the irrigation package actually has very high upfront cost, which actually is the preventive block, which hinders most of the farmers from having access to such life-changing technologies. So basically, Smart Energy Enterprise is actually doing this by making sure that actually farmers pay 20% initial payment for the solar irrigation package before acquiring the irrigation system. The remaining payments are actually made within a period of 1 to 2 years, depending on the agreement which we have with the farmers. These payments are actually normally made after harvest, because we understand that the major source of income for the farmers is actually from farming. So after the loan recovery period, then farmers assume complete ownership of the irrigation system. So in addition to the provision of the solar power irrigation system, we also provide extension services and market linkages to the farmers. So we train the farmers in farm business group dynamics and irrigation scheme management in order to enhance their productivity. Then we also do purchase the produce from the farmers to provide a ready market outlet for their produce. In cases where we don't have the capacity to purchase the produce from them, we connect them to the prospective buyers who buy from them at very good prices. And then someone might be wondering, what products do you actually promote, or what products do you have? Currently, we are currently of promoting Kanyumba solar irrigation package, which is a very unique irrigation package, fully designed by Smart Energy Enterprise. And this irrigation package is ideal for farmers whose land holdings are close to the water bodies like rivers, lakes, and dams. So it actually saves the farmers from damage of the irrigation package in such a way that when the rainy season approaches, the farmer can actually move the irrigation package from the farm to upland, where it can be safe from flooding and stuff. And this irrigation package also provides accommodation to the farmer on farm to help the farmer take care of the crops and watch over the irrigation package altogether, providing security to the irrigation system. So this irrigation system has the capacity to pump up to 50,000 liters of water per hour, which is good enough to cover over 6 hectares of land. So this irrigation package is really ideal and very market fit for most of the farmers whom we are actually targeting. The market opportunity for solar power irrigation system in Malawi is very huge and very promising. You see, Malawi has over 60,000 hectares of land which is under rice cultivation. Nevertheless, only 15% of this land is under irrigation. This simply means that 85% of the land in Malawi is not irrigated. The trend is not different from Kalonga, a district in which we are currently operating. 13,000 hectares of land in Kalonga is under rice cultivation. Only 2,500 is under irrigation. So Kalonga alone has a total addressable market of 2,200 solar pump irrigation systems with potential revenue of $7 million, which is very big. Despite the market opportunities presented to us, there are some other challenges which actually prevent us from actually engaging fully in the market. Number one challenge is the forex shortage, which is driving up the prices of raw materials. The high inflation rates upon some of the products which we use in the development of our irrigation packages, like you talk of the solar panels, the solar pumps, and some other materials which we use in the development of the irrigation systems are very high. And this also affects the pricing for our products. And this pain point which we feel as a business is also transferred to the farmers, who also cannot afford to purchase some of the products which we might introduce, which we might love to introduce on the market for their use. So this challenge is also one of the hindering block which prevents farmers from purchasing the irrigation packages, and this also affects the sales of solar pumps. And then low incomes among smallholder farmers, as well as coupled with climate change related effects like droughts, flooding, and dry spells, is actually affecting the sales of solar pump irrigation systems. Why? Because most of these smallholder farmers do not have the capacity to buy the solar pump irrigation systems. For instance, some farmers actually are affected by drought and some are affected by the floods. So the source of their hope, where they source the income to buy the solar pump, is swept away, is dried out by the sun. They don't have the capacity any longer to come and buy the solar pumps. So this is one of the challenges which also affects the propagation of solar pump irrigation systems amongst the small or holder farmers. In order to ensure sustainable financial growth of our business and making our business more resilient to the seasonality effect of the lease-to-own business model, currently we are bundling the sales of solar pump irrigation systems with the purchase of the farm produce. So to make the lease-to-own business model more resilient, there's a need of bundling it with some other income generating activities, some of which is the sales of rice produce, as we also buy the rice and then we add value to the rice and then sell the rice at better prices. And this is very important for the survival of our business using the lease to own business model. And then we are also engaging in the construction of solar power irrigation systems, which is a construction business whereby we also generate extra incomes to make sure that our business thrives along with the lease to own business model. Then we also engage in partnership with financial and microfinance institutions to introduce irrigation loans in collaboration with Smart Energy Enterprise, so that we also boost up our sales in the long run. In order for us to design a product or solar pump irrigation systems that are fit for the market, there are a number of steps which we follow. The number one thing that we need to do as a business, that we do as a business, is that we get feedback from the end users. In this case, we are talking about the farmers, and sometimes even the organization, the NGOs, who actually come to buy some of the solar pump irrigation systems from us, and even commercial farmers, smallholder farmers. So we actually frequently hold meetings with these customer segments and learn more from them, and actually determine their pain points, determine their needs, determine their challenges, on what they actually want to be addressed on their part, on what they feel our products bring on their table, and how best we can improve those products to meet their basic needs on the ground. So after having done that assessment and analysis, then we are able to go back to the drawing board and start making adjustments to the product and the service that we actually provide. And even our portfolio can as well change, because we might also need to incorporate a new customer segment based on the feedback which we get from our customers. So we might as well need to design new products for different customer segments, which is very, very important. So I'll give you an example. Initially, at Smart Energy Enterprise, we were producing Koyenda irrigation package. So this is a movable solar power irrigation system, which we designed to help farmers move the solar irrigation package from one point to another, to help them ease the mobility of the solar irrigation package. Then there were some challenges with regards to the mobility and the safety of the solar irrigation package. So some farmers demanded that we should be providing a house. So we introduced the Kanyumba irrigation package, which was static. And this one was also prone to damage from flooding and some other climate change related effects. And this led us to develop the Kanyumba solar power irrigation system, which are actually presented area. And if you are to see, the Koyenda and Kanyumba resulted us to produce the Kanyumba plus irrigation package, which is currently under use on the market. There are a number of lessons which we have learned previously. One of which is that we have to export produce purchased from the farmers to different countries to generate forex for the business. And then we also have learned that farmer groups should not be big enough. They should have a number of 2 to 5 farmers per water users group, which is actually manageable, and it will actually ease the pressure on our part. And then diversification of the revenue streams is very important for the business growth, especially when you are using the lease to own business model. So these are the 3 most important lessons which we have learned along the operation of our business since the inception. This far, I would like to say thank you very much for your attention and your engagement. Thank you.
Great. Thank you all for these insightful presentations. And I want to excuse and apologize for some technical issues we've had at the start. So now we are a bit delayed in time, but we still have at least 15 minutes to discuss with the speakers. So please, Janice, Gift, and Hafeni, would be great if you turn your cameras on. Then I invite everyone to ask questions in the chat. And there are already some, and I would post the first question to Hafeni. It's about the given scarcity of water in Namibia. And it's asked whether you are considering drop irrigation to reduce water wastage.
Drop irrigations, yes, we do practice the drop irrigation, but it also comes with a lot of issues. They are very much they get broken easily because they become brittle because the temperature is so high, and the material where most of those ones are made are very cheap. They become brittle and just used in very few irrigation cycles before they are either blocked or they become brittle that they cannot be used. They just break easily when they are being adjusted from different areas. So we do use them, but they are not a preferable choice.
Thanks for that. There is another technology-related question, which isn't directed to anyone specifically, but it's been asked about the technology and to say a bit more about that and the associated costs, like the type of aquifer and the water depth. So, Janice or Gift, maybe one of you wants to address that, and then the other one can also, of course, go next.
Okay, so I'll talk about what Simusolar does, the technology that we use. First and foremost, we do first get to survey the land of the farmer to get to understand the source of water, how deep it is it clean water, is it by the lake or a river, like just to understand that, and then the size of the farm as well as the type of crop that they're growing. So all that, we have an application that we're using to insert all that data. So this is available with our sales officers when they go to the field. So they're able there and then to question the farmer to get to understand all that and input all that information in that application. And then would automatically create a pump system design that will fit the client's requirement. Because we understand that most farmers will just go and buy a pump without understanding that actually there's technical behind all that, how you come up with that system design that fits your requirement. So after knowing what design it is, that's when we are able to now advise the client and offer the prices and the payment options. So that's what we usually do.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sophia. On our part, is actually a little bit different because we are working with smallholder farmers, and we are not actually getting water from the aquifers because one of the things that were pointed out by Mungungu was that these submersible solar pump irrigation systems, or the act of drilling boreholes, is very, very expensive, and most of these smallholder farmers cannot be able to actually have the ability to pay for it. So at Smart Energy Enterprise, we are kind of promoting the surface water sources, surface water pumps, where we use the pumps that get water from the surface water sources. So they require less power. We don't need to use more panels. And because we don't need more panels, it's actually a bit more cheaper, that even most of the farmers can have the ability to actually access such kind of technologies. So basically, we are targeting surface water sources, or farms which are very close to the surface water sources. And I'm happy to say that in Malawi, we have Lake Malawi, and most of the districts lie along this strip of land. And it actually helps us to capture most of these farmers. We have a number of perennial rivers, so we are taking advantage of this to work with farmers, providing them with a little bit affordable irrigation packages as compared to these submersible pumps, which are more expensive than the surface water pumps.
Thanks to the two of you. That's been very clear. Gift, another a question to you regarding products. Do you or are there other products than rice? Because maybe you have encountered situations where the product's price is too low to then pay for the irrigation system. Has that been the case?
Yeah, thank you so much, Sophia. We have had a debate on that with the team in the business to actually determine which customer group, which customer segment we should actually be working with. So we are targeting rice for a number of reasons. Number one reason is that rice, we are using a lease-to-own business model. And this model is kind of a loan which we give to the farmers. And we need to make sure that there is surety that the payments are going to be made. So rice is more resilient to diseases. No pest in rice. And most of the times productivity is also very high. And even when we talk about rice, even durability, I mean, the rice is more marketable than these other crops. In addition to that, when we look at rice, even rice is not perishable as compared to some of these crops like horticultural crops. So we are going for rice because it is more ideal, and most of the farmers are actually willing to invest in irrigation agriculture. Why? Because rice is more productive, and even the marketability of rice is very certain, and even the market for rice is there. So that's why we're actually pressing harder to work with rice farmers. The only thing that they need is water, of which we have the water. They have the land, they have the labor, we have the pump, and we actually provide our expertise to them. So we actually do this to ensure that rice farmers are actually enhanced in their productivity. Of course, we are trying to incorporate the horticultural farmers now. Vegetable farmers are coming. These are the farmers who actually grow tomatoes. They are also interested in our irrigation systems. But then we prefer to offer the irrigation systems to rice farmers because ours are a little bit bigger as compared to some of the horticultural farmers who needs a relatively smaller pumps. So we are actually going for the bigger systems to support rice farmers, which actually requires more water. That way, we are actually bridging the gap and actually making our business more sustainable.
Perfect. Thanks for that. And then now moving on to more of a not such a technical aspect, but more a social one regarding farmers' training needs. How do you address that? what are the main training needs of farmers? How do you address these? Are there any programs? Yeah, the question is addressing all of you. Hafeni, maybe you want to go first, and then Janice to add on that.
That is a very important aspect of these new technologies. I think the best or the first thing that we really consider is making the people understand. People have fears for technology. For instance, that is an issue that we are experiencing here in Namibia. We have dealt with some of the communities whereby a certain of certain communities, like the Hindu communities that we have dealt with here in Namibia, they they do not want to accept modern stuffs, and it's one of the basic step that you start with by educating them, making it, explaining it to them how important it is. These people are living in areas where they are very suffering very much because traditionally they are just dependent on kettles, and their kettles are dying because of drought, and they do not have any other supplements apart from government feeds, but they have land. They have land, which is also a great asset. So the best step that we did, considering certain communities, educating the people to understand these new modern systems, and then from this, the second step is understanding the system itself, managing the systems, and then for farmers that are already in advanced stage, we educate them on basic maintenance of these systems because of the remoteness of most of our farmers. For instance, we have farmers that are based in Katima, that is about 1,300 kilometers from our head office, and it's very much challenging for us to be able to drive there. But also one innovative thing that we did is we hired a local entrepreneur who already is doing technical work there, but they were not knowledgeable in renewable energies, solar installations. When we were doing our installations of pumps there and our irrigation systems, we ensure that we consider people that are locally based, and the people that are also technically they'll be able to understand these systems very fast, and then we choose them as our representative in those local markets, and they'll be able also to communicate in local languages, because we have multiple languages in Namibia, and sometimes you go in a community where you cannot even communicate in the basic possible ways, and engaging with the local people who are also educated or semi-educated, having some kind of literation or have a technical background, it helps a lot because we pass on the knowledge to them, and then they'll be able to pass it into the communities.
Okay, just like what Hafeni has said, lack of awareness is what really takes us back. So we see that farmers are going back to the manual irrigation systems just because they are not aware of the technology and the benefits that come with it. So what we do is educating these farmers through training, through the network that we have created with the agricultural cooperatives. And also most of the times when there are farmers events, like a good example is last year, we have a farmers event called Nane Nane here in Tanzania, where 5,000 farmers visited our booths across the regions. So there they get to understand our technology, but also we do demonstrations. So since we want this farmer to invest in this technology, we also want them to have a peace of mind that they're investing in the right technology. So we'll do demonstration on how it works, but also giving them that payment plan over a span of 2 years, that they can do a down payment and have pay the balance in a span of 2 years. And in those 2 years, we do offer them free service. So also that gives them that push to understand that, okay, if anything happens to this type of system, then I know I can always, call Simusolar and they can come and fix it in those 2 years of warranty. So all these put together really convinces the farmer that this is the right technology to go for.
Thank you so much. And I see we already have 3 o'clock, but if you have a few more minutes, like 5 more minutes, especially to the speakers, there are a few more questions. Maybe we can address them briefly before closing. Would that be fine for you?
Yes,
Then I
please.
post them simultaneously and maybe you can briefly address them. So the first one is whether there are any other business models used by your competitors other than lease to own, and if you also consider other models. And then the second one is more of a technological one again. Which pump is preferred in high temperature regions? I leave this open to the three of you to jump in.
Of course, there are some other people who are doing that. There are a number of companies. But the business model is a bit different from ours because you see, we have some others who are just offering solar pump application packages to on the market. Of course, in Malawi there are, and amongst the panelists, of course, we have Hafeni, who is also doing the risk to own, and also Janice is also doing the risk to own model. In Malawi, definitely there are some other people, but the only difference is that that model is a bit difficult to handle, more especially if you go sole with the risk to own model. So that's why on our part, we actually bundle it with a number of services. So we engage in a long-term relationship with our farmers, whereby we also buy the produce from the farmers, so the farmers can actually rely on us. We actually provide trainings to them, we provide extension services to them. And actually, currently we are kind of, I've learned something from Janice. They have an application system where they actually provide monitoring services for their irrigation systems. Even farmers can register on their systems and actually, press an order from there, and they can actually monitor their system and everything. So we are also looking into actually engaging with that. And also, I would like also to point out that one of the major challenges with the risk to own business model is that it is limited by the geographical locality of the clients. So as Hafeni pointed out, that some farmers are located even very far away from where you are. You also need to consider on how we are going to provide these services that I'm talking about, the monitoring services. And even if I'm to buy, how am I going to travel, like in the case of Hafeni, 1,300 kilometers away from our headquarters. So all those things put together, there are some of the challenges that make more business shun the risk to own model. But on our part, I think it's a learning process. We learn every day and we make adjustments every day. That's why we actually consult the farmers now and again. We consult different stakeholders to learn more about what the risk to own business model should be handled like. So it's a long process. It's a learning process. Indeed, there are a number of players, but as far as I know in Malawi, I can happily say that we are the best.
Yes, just to add on that, I think that is also one of the things that really is unique with us, having that provision of lease to own plan, as well as, and because we know we are doing that plan of lease to own, we also know that we need to provide a top-notch service so that this client is happy with the service and actually end up paying and own the equipment. So really that puts us above the bar.
Thank you. And then Hafeni, maybe you want to take up the last question on the most suitable or preferred pump for higher temperature regions.
I would say we have a lot of a large ranges of pumps that we supply in our local market here. And obviously, that's a very good question that I could answer because because of the temperature that is high in our country. I would say our market currently, there's a high preference of the Grundfos pumps, but I think this is specifically a perception because it's one of those pumps that entered the market like in an early stage. But currently, there are other pumps that have grown into the market, like the Rollens. The Rollens is much more preferable by farmers that have boreholes that have too much mud because it's very, very good with mud. And then we have which one is this one? Sorry. Can I check on this one?
Yeah.
So the Grundfos is the main one that they are currently preferring, but we have so several of the pumps that we did installed are Grundfos, but just to confirm. Yes, and then what is now hand in hand with Grundfos, we have the DEB, mainly because it has it has a supply of most of the spare parts that is readily available in the local market, which make it a very good pump. And it's a very good product because it's kind of sold separate. The Grundfos comes as one package, which means if something breaks from the Grundfos, they do not have usually readily available spare parts. For instance, maybe it's just a motor that's broken from the pump. Sometimes the local market can only supply a whole package instead of having spare for it. But DEB comes in a split package already. When you're buying that pump, it's already in a split package, which means if the motor is broken, you are able to buy the motor only, which make it also very much cheaper comparing to Grundfos because it's sold in a kind of a spare already from the get-go.
Okay, thanks for that. Thanks for the details here. And yeah, with this, I would now like to come to an end, even if it's, yeah, there would be so much more to discuss. But yeah, a big thank you to the three of you for sharing these insights. Super interesting, and I'm sure that everyone has learned a lot today, and hopefully inspire people and peers to continue or start with working on solar irrigation. And of course, also thanks to everyone who was joining today. Yeah, I wish you a great rest of the day and goodbye.